The night sky is endless, filled with silver stars shimmering like whispers of eternity. In the stillness of space, one star glows brighter, timeless and unyielding in its radiance. She is Athena, not bound to battles or temples, but to the eternal flow of wisdom and light. Her presence is gentle, yet vast, a guiding force weaving through the fabric of the universe. Legends say she was born not from earth or stone, but from the silence between constellations. Her crown is made of starlight, and her voice carries like a song through the boundless night. She walks unseen, a guardian of harmony, inspiring mortals to seek truth within themselves. Athena is more than a goddess. She is the eternal star, a beacon of wisdom beyond time. Through every era, her light touches those who dare to dream and look toward the heavens. And tonight, her story unfolds again, carried on the quiet breath of the cosmic winds. In the beginning, the universe was silent, vast, and filled with a hum of unseen energy. Stars were young, flickering softly, like candles placed upon an infinite sea of darkness. From this silence, a radiant spark emerged, brighter than all other lights combined. It was not fire, nor storm, nor shadow, but something eternal, flowing with wisdom and calm. That spark shaped itself into a form, graceful and timeless, neither mortal nor bound to earth. Thus, Athena was born, not of battle cries, but of harmony woven into the breath of creation. Her essence was pure light, cascading in golden streams that touched the edges of the cosmos. She carried no weapon, only the gift of clarity and the eternal flame of understanding. Every star recognized her presence and bent gently toward her as though in reverence. The galaxies shifted, as if welcoming her to the endless dance of celestial eternity. She opened her eyes, and they shone like twin suns, reflecting knowledge hidden in the void. Her first steps were not upon soil, but upon beams of starlight stretched across infinity. Every movement sang with rhythm, each gesture flowing like a silent hymn of creation. Her voice was not spoken, yet the universe heard it, a melody rising through the silence. It was the promise of guidance, the vow of wisdom that would never fade with time. Mortals had not yet dreamed, nor cities risen, yet her spirit waited for them patiently. She was destined to be their guide, not in war, but in the path of thought and peace. Her crown was made not of jewels, but of constellations circling in endless harmony. The night sky became her temple, and the stars her everlasting companions of light. She was not alone, for the cosmos itself embraced her as its eternal daughter. Nebulas glowed brighter at her touch, their colors weaving in patterns of divine beauty. Comets bent their tails in homage, carrying her blessing across the infinite distance. The moon glimmered in soft silver, rising like a guardian to accompany her light. Athena knew her role was not to conquer, but to illuminate the hidden paths of wisdom. She whispered to the currents of time, weaving seeds of knowledge into their flow. Every particle carried her song, and every atom resonated with her gentle guidance. The universe held its breath, listening, waiting, learning from her eternal presence. She stood as the eternal star goddess, a guardian of balance, a beacon through the ages. Her journey had just begun, yet already the cosmos bowed in quiet devotion. Athena smiled, knowing that one day humanity would look up and see her star. They would not know her name at first, but they would feel her presence in dreams. And thus, the birth of eternal light marked the beginning of her timeless story. Beneath the endless sky, there came a time when mortals began to gather on the earth below. They looked upward in awe, watching the stars shimmer, unaware of the goddess who watched them. Athena, radiant and eternal, longed to gift them not temples of war, but cities of light and thought. She guided them softly, her whispers flowing like wind, leading their hearts toward wisdom and unity. In a dream, she revealed a vision of marble shining like moonlight under the embrace of dawn. Men and women awoke with inspiration, their hands eager to shape stone into harmony and balance. From her guidance, a city was born, its streets wide, its columns strong, its purpose divine. The city stood not as a fortress, but as a sanctuary of learning, art, and shared wonder. Its walls reflected sunlight by day and starlight by night, glowing as if blessed by eternity. Every stone carried her blessing, every archway whispered her song of truth and endless guidance. At the heart of the city rose a temple, not to conquest, but to wisdom and sacred thought. Its steps welcomed all who sought knowledge, and its halls echoed with the murmur of discovery. Children learned to read beneath carved pillars, their voices rising like birds greeting the dawn. Artists painted the heavens upon stone, capturing the constellations Athena traced with her light. Philosophers gathered in circles, debating the mysteries of time, guided by her silent wisdom. Musicians played harps that mirrored the rhythm of stars, filling the air with celestial melodies. The city thrived not because of power, but because of shared curiosity and love of truth. Every festival was held under the open sky, with torches mirroring the constellations above. Dancers moved in flowing circles, reflecting the eternal movement of the heavens around them. The people knew they were watched over, not by force, but by the gentle hand of Athena. They offered no sacrifices of blood, only flowers, poems, and songs woven in her honor. The goddess smiled, for their devotion was pure, rooted not in fear, but in gratitude. She walked unseen through their streets, her footsteps like a breeze passing through olive trees. Each library built was a shrine to her light, each scroll a spark from her eternal flame. The city became a beacon, drawing travelers who sought wisdom rather than gold or power. It was a place where strangers became friends, united by stories, questions, and endless wonder. Athena saw her vision fulfilled, a city alive, glowing with harmony, touched by starlight. And though centuries would pass, its legacy would remain, echoing the eternal gift she bestowed. The city of radiant marble became a living hymn, a promise between heaven and earth. Athena's light was woven into its walls, forever reminding mortals of the star-born goddess. High above the marble city, the stars began to glow with a deeper, gentler brilliance than before. Athena lifted her gaze and listened, for the heavens had a language older than mortal memory. It was not spoken in words, but in whispers carried by light across endless rivers of night. The constellations told stories, each movement of their shining forms a message woven in silence. Athena understood their meaning, for her soul was born from the breath of celestial harmony. She leaned close to the sky, hearing the stars sing of balance, truth, and the flow of time. Their voices shimmered, guiding her heart to share their wisdom with the children of earth. She became their translator, a bridge between mortal longing and the eternal rhythm above. Every night, as people slept, Athena gathered the whispers and carried them to their dreams. She gave them visions of harmony, of gardens blooming, and of rivers flowing without end. The stars spoke of patience, reminding mortals that wisdom grows like trees under gentle rain. They sang of unity, showing how constellations shine brighter when bound together in patterns. Athena walked among olive groves, whispering these truths into the hearts of shepherds and poets. A farmer would awaken with new ideas for nurturing soil, taught by a voice he could not name. A young girl would dream of painting skies, inspired by Athena's gentle starlit touch. A wise elder would suddenly understand the cycles of seasons as messages of divine order. The city itself began to glow differently, for it was guided by the whispers of eternity. Philosophers gathered not just in daylight, but under the stars, debating what the heavens revealed. They noticed how constellations rose and fell, how their rhythm matched human life and change. Athena stood quietly among them, unseen, her presence weaving clarity into their thoughts. Even the children played at tracing constellations in the sand, guided by curiosity and wonder. The whispers became songs, flowing through harps and flutes played under the midnight sky. Musicians did not know it, but their melodies mirrored the hidden voices of the cosmos. The owl, her golden-feathered companion, listened too, turning its head toward every starlit call. Its eyes mirrored galaxies, reflecting truths beyond language, silent yet endlessly deep. The dove soared at night, carrying the whispers across hills, blessing every household in its flight. And the luminous deer walked the forests, its antlers glowing with the faint light of Orion. Together, they became messengers of her wisdom, guardians of the bond between sky and earth. The mortals never saw Athena fully, yet they felt her guidance each time they looked upward. The stars were no longer distant fires. They were teachers, companions, and sacred guides. Athena smiled, for she knew the bond was strong, woven gently with trust and light. The whispers of the stars would forever guide mortals, as long as they dared to listen. Far beyond the marble streets, nestled within the heart of the city, stood a place unlike any other. It was not built with stone alone, but with dreams whispered by the stars and guided by Athena's hand. This was the Library of Infinity, a sanctuary where wisdom flowed like rivers of endless light. Its walls shimmered faintly, as though each block of marble remembered the touch of constellations. Doors of bronze opened silently, revealing a chamber filled not with dust, but with living brilliance. Instead of scrolls of parchment, the shelves held radiant scripts woven from threads of starlight. Each scroll glowed softly, whispering truths when touched, revealing visions of harmony and beauty. The words did not fade, for they were carved not by hand, but by the voice of eternity. Athena herself had blessed the library, planting knowledge like seeds within its luminous halls. She knew mortals would need more than memory. They needed light to guide them through ages. Travelers entered, weary from their journeys, and left with eyes glowing, hearts filled with wonder. Children would sit upon the marble floor, reaching toward glowing texts that floated above them. They did not read with their eyes alone, but felt wisdom flow gently into their souls. Philosophers discovered entire worlds hidden within those radiant words, lessons born of the stars. They spoke of compassion, of balance, of the sacred bond that unites all living things. Artists entered and saw visions that inspired paintings, songs, and stories that carried through generations. Farmers entered and learned rhythms of the earth, secrets carried by the cycles of seasons. Sailors read of constellations, mapping their journeys by truths older than the seas themselves. The Library of Infinity became more than a building. It became a living breath of the cosmos. Its ceilings rose high like the heavens, painted with shifting constellations that moved with the night. When the moonlight entered, the walls shimmered, turning the library into a sky made of marble. Athena often walked its halls unseen, her footsteps like whispers echoing softly among the shelves. She guided hands to the right scroll, the right word, the right truth that was needed. Sometimes, a reader would suddenly pause, sensing her presence, though no form could be seen. The owl perched upon the highest shelf, its golden feathers glowing in the quiet light. The dove rested near the doorway, greeting every visitor with a calm, eternal gentleness. The deer moved through the halls like a shadow of starlight, never disturbing, always watching. The library was not guarded by force, but by reverence, for none wished to harm it. People spoke of its glow, how even from a distance its light touched the night sky. It became a beacon for all seekers, a place where questions were answered with timeless grace. Athena knew the library was eternal, for it was built not of stone, but of wisdom. And as long as mortals sought the stars, the library of infinity would never fade away. In the stillness of twilight, Athena walked beyond the marble city and into the quiet groves of earth. Though she was eternal, she was never alone, for 3 companions walked in her gentle radiance. The first was the owl, its feathers shimmering with gold, eyes deep as the endless night sky. It flew silently, carrying wisdom in every beat of its wings, watching the world with calm patience. The second was the dove, a bird of silver, its wings glowing faintly like moonlight on flowing water. Wherever it flew, peace followed, and hearts grew softer, filled with kindness and quiet hope. The third was the luminous deer, its antlers crowned with starlight, glowing softly in the forest shade. It moved without fear, a guardian of harmony, leaving trails of light across the darkened paths. Together, they walked beside Athena, symbols of her eternal gifts to mortals who sought her light. The owl spoke of knowledge, guiding thinkers to truths hidden in the silence of their minds. The dove sang of peace, inspiring souls to forgive, to heal, and to cherish the bonds of life. The deer carried the spirit of guardianship, teaching courage not through battle, but through protection. Athena loved them as mirrors of her own essence, each reflecting a part of her eternal self. The mortals who glimpsed them felt awe, though they never understood the meaning at first sight. A farmer who saw the deer at dawn found courage to rebuild after storms destroyed his fields. A child who saw the dove dreamed of mending broken friendships and woke with a heart of peace. A poet who heard the owl's quiet cry under starlight discovered words that echoed for centuries. The companions were not worshipped as gods, but revered as messengers of unseen wisdom. Athena would watch their journeys, smiling as they carried her blessings across hills and seas. The owl often returned to the library, perching above glowing scrolls as guardian of knowledge. The dove circled the city during festivals, its wings scattering calm upon the dancing crowds. The deer roamed the olive groves, its antlers shining softly, reminding mortals of the sacred forest. Together, they wove harmony between nature and humanity, sky and earth, silence and song. Athena knew their presence would outlast temples, for symbols live in the soul beyond time. She whispered to the owl, filling it with eternal memory of all wisdom mortals would ever seek. She touched the dove's wings, granting it the power to soften even the hardest of hearts. She crowned the deer's antlers with light, so it would always be a guide through the dark. The companions bowed their heads, bound not by command, but by love for the eternal goddess. And so, when mortals gazed upon them, they did not see animals, but living fragments of eternity. Athena, the eternal star goddess, walked in their company, her radiance shining through them all. High upon the quiet hills, Athena watched as the seasons changed, weaving their eternal rhythm across the land. Spring bloomed with fragrant blossoms, each petal unfolding like a whispered promise to the earth below. The streams ran clear and fast, carrying songs of renewal that echoed through valleys and olive groves. Athena touched the waters, and they shimmered with light, blessing those who drank with clarity of thought. Children who played by the rivers laughed with brighter eyes, their hearts filled with courage and joy. Farmers sowed seeds with steady hands, guided by her unseen presence, trusting in the cycles of growth. Summer followed, the fields golden, the air heavy with warmth, the sky an endless canvas of blue. Athena walked among the groves, and the olive trees bent gently, their fruits ripening in harmony. The people gathered beneath their branches, sharing stories, weaving songs of gratitude and wonder. They did not always name her, yet her presence lingered in every smile, in every shared loaf of bread. Her wisdom was not thunder nor command, but a quiet rhythm flowing through the heartbeat of life. Autumn came with its harvest, the air cool and filled with the scent of earth and falling leaves. Athena guided the workers, their baskets full of grain, their spirits strong with unity and trust. She whispered into the winds, reminding them to honor balance, to give as much as they received. Families sat together, offering thanks to the unseen star that watched over their daily lives. They spoke of wisdom, of courage, of peace, not realizing each word was a thread of her eternal song. When winter arrived, the nights grew long, and the stars shone brighter in the frozen sky. Athena's light spread across the snow, a silver glow that wrapped the earth in gentle stillness. The owl perched upon frosted branches, watching with steady eyes, guiding seekers through the dark. The dove rested in hidden shelters, carrying warmth of peace to homes that feared the cold silence. The deer moved gracefully across snowy fields, its luminous antlers leading lost travelers back to safety. Through each season, Athena's essence lingered, woven into the fabric of earth, sky, and soul. She was not seen in temples alone, but in the turning of leaves, the flowing of rivers, the stars above. Every cycle renewed her story, written not in stone, but in the eternal language of nature itself. Those who listened closely felt her near, guiding them with wisdom as constant as the seasons. A shepherd looking at the stars in winter felt her quiet strength and knew he was not alone. A mother planting seeds in spring heard her gentle call to nurture, to care, to believe in tomorrow. Athena's radiance was eternal, not in thunder or fire, but in the harmony of life's quiet rhythm. And so the goddess walked unseen, her light never fading as the seasons turned beneath her watchful gaze. In the quiet of the night, when stars stretched endlessly across the heavens, Athena walked among dreams. She did not appear in form, but as a presence, soft and radiant, entering the sleeping minds of mortals. Her steps were made of light, her voice a whisper carried on the wind that slipped beneath closed door. She touched the dreams of poets, and words bloomed like flowers across the silent pages of imagination. She visited the dreams of children, weaving visions of kindness, courage, and the joy of discovery. She drifted into the thoughts of scholars, gifting them glimpses of truths hidden beyond ordinary sight. A sailor sleeping beneath a mast dreamed of constellations guiding his path across the vast sea. An artist saw colors unimagined, painting visions upon their mind that would one day inspire generations. A weary mother dreamed of golden fields, where laughter echoed and her burdens lifted like feathers. Athena's gift in dreams was not command, but the gentle planting of seeds that grew with morning light. Some awoke and forgot, yet still carried a quiet strength, shaped by the goddess's unseen hand. Others remembered with awe, writing down words and visions that felt too luminous to be their own. Her owl often flew in these dreams, its wings scattering stardust across the skies of sleeping minds. The dove appeared in soft glimmers, a reminder of peace that eased the restless hearts of the weary. The deer wandered the dream forests, leading dreamers to safe paths through the shadows of night. Through dreams, Athena reached hearts that temples could never touch, binding souls with threads of hope. She did not choose kings alone, but touched the humble, the forgotten, the voices lost in silence. For she knew wisdom blooms not only in palaces, but in the simple hearts of ordinary lives. A shepherd dreamed of guiding stars and woke with courage to protect his flock from winter storms. A young girl dreamed of writing stories and awoke with fire to tell truths that the world had silenced. A healer dreamed of glowing waters and awoke with new knowledge that saved lives with gentle hands. Athena's dream gifts were never loud, but their echoes shaped lives, carrying forward into endless time. Her light wove through sleep like a silver river, uniting dreamers in the shared song of wisdom. When the stars faded into dawn, she withdrew quietly, leaving only warmth within the waking heart. No shrine could contain her gift of dreams, for it was carried by the soul, unseen, eternal. Those who felt her presence would smile at sunrise, not knowing why, only sensing a greater harmony. Athena was the eternal guide, walking the hidden roads of the mind, lighting paths unseen by day. And so the goddess of wisdom shone most brightly in silence, where dreams shape the destiny of worlds. Beneath the vast heavens, Athena often turned her gaze toward the sea, where waves carried endless stories. The ocean was a mirror of the stars, reflecting her light upon restless waters and wandering hearts. She walked along the shore unseen, her footsteps leaving no trace, only whispers in the salted wind. The sailors who set sail at dawn felt her presence guiding them, though they could not name it. They looked to the constellations, believing the stars would never fail them, steady above the waves. Athena's wisdom lived in those stars, teaching mortals to navigate not just seas, but the storms within. Her owl often flew above the ships, a silent sentinel gliding over masts and billowing sails. The dove appeared at harbors, a gentle sign of peace when men returned home from distant journeys. The deer was seen only rarely, standing at the edge of cliffs, its luminous antlers guarding the coast. Travelers spoke of visions at sea, dreams of glowing figures who whispered courage into weary souls. A fisherman once dreamed of Athena's light and awoke with knowledge of tides that saved his village. A captain lost in stormy waters followed a star brighter than all others and reached safe shores. A child waiting at the docks felt calm when a dove circled above, bringing hope of safe return. Athena's presence was never loud, but in the rhythm of tides, she wove wisdom into the waves. The sea itself seemed to carry her song, a melody of balance, patience, and eternal flow. Waves rose and fell like breath, reminding mortals that strength is found in endurance, not force. The stars above became her eternal compass, teaching that even in darkness, light can guide. She whispered to the winds, turning fear into resolve, carrying ships to lands unknown yet promised. The sailors prayed to many gods, but unknowingly they walked beneath Athena's quiet guardianship. For she was not only goddess of wisdom, but of journeys, guiding both minds and vessels. Stories spread of miraculous rescues, of visions that led men from danger into safe harbors of peace. Yet Athena sought no credit, for her work was in the unseen, in the harmony of sea and sky. Her gift was clarity, teaching mortals to trust in patterns, in stars, in the rhythm of nature. Those who listened to the sea with patience often heard her voice hidden within the waves. It was not command, but guidance, a gentle reminder of paths that led to balance and truth. As dawn broke, the sea glistened with silver light, as though touched by her eternal hand. Fishermen returned with full nets, travelers with safe stories, children with laughter in their hearts. The ocean remained a temple without walls, its hymns sung in waves and tides forever turning. And in its endless song, Athena's wisdom shone, guiding humanity like a star upon the water. High above the world, in the silence where stars sang softly, Athena shaped her gift of constellations. The heavens were her canvas, and the stars her brush, each point of light carrying meaning for mortals. She placed Orion, the hunter, not as a warning of battle, but as a lesson of strength and humility. She shaped Lyra the harp to remind humanity of music, harmony, and the power of gentle creation. She traced Virgo across the skies, carrying wheat in her hands, symbol of nurture and enduring care. Each constellation was more than beauty. It was wisdom written across the night for all to see. The shepherds looked up at night and followed her patterns, guiding their flocks safely through valleys. Travelers crossed deserts, their eyes fixed on stars, trusting Athena's map written in eternal light. Poets found stories in her skies, weaving myths that carried truths through generations and across lands. Her constellations were not commands, but invitations, urging mortals to seek meaning in the vast unknown. The owl often flew among these stars in dreams, guiding seekers to patterns hidden beyond the obvious. The dove appeared as soft streaks of light, crossing the heavens like signs of peace above the earth. The deer's antlers glowed within constellations, connecting stars like pathways through shadowed skies. Mortals learned to read her heavens, not just for direction, but for lessons whispered across eternity. A sailor lost in storms followed the North Star and reached safety, his life shaped by her guidance. A young woman gazed upon Lyra and began to sing, her songs carrying comfort to hearts for ages. A farmer planted under Virgo's sign and harvested abundance, giving thanks to the unseen hand above. Athena did not dwell in temples alone, but in the skies, where every star bore her eternal memory. She gave the constellations so that humanity would always have light in darkness, truth in uncertainty. When the night grew heavy and silence deep, her stars whispered, "Look up, and you will find me." Mortals who gazed upward felt their burdens ease, their hearts lifted by the vastness of the cosmos. Her wisdom was not in answers, but in questions, in wonder that drew eyes beyond the horizon. Through constellations, Athena reminded humanity that they were never small, but part of a grand design. Each star became a thread of her story, woven endlessly across the sky, eternal and unyielding. Children would point at the heavens, tracing figures, unknowingly reading the goddess's lessons of life. Old men sat by fires, telling tales of the stars, passing Athena's wisdom into the ears of the young. The constellations never faded, their glow eternal, guardians of memory, teachers of balance and peace. Athena smiled from the unseen, knowing her message would endure as long as stars burned in heaven. And so the night sky became her temple, infinite, eternal, a sacred book written in starlight forever. Far above mortal time, Athena walked the edge of eternity, her light shimmering softly across creation. The constellations burned steady, carrying her wisdom, her gift to humanity, like eternal lanterns in the night sky. Yet her presence was not only in the heavens, but in whispers carried on the wind, gentle and unseen. In libraries where scholars bent over scrolls, Her spirit guided their thoughts toward clarity and truth everlasting. In quiet groves where children played, her laughter echoed faintly, filling the air with safety and wonder. She did not appear in glory or thunder, but in the subtle presence that lifted burdens from weary hearts. Mortals began to tell stories of visions, dreams where Athena stood by them in moments of great need. A young dreamer, fearful of failure, awoke with courage after hearing her words. Your mind is your power. A mother tending her child felt calm as a soft light filled the room, soothing both with peace unspoken. An old man resting by fire saw her owl in vision, eyes glowing, urging him to pass on wisdom. Athena's eternal gift was not command, but encouragement. Not rule, but reminder of strength already living within. The night sky itself became a mirror, showing mortals that wisdom is endless, like stars without horizon. Each generation added to her story, carrying her presence like an ember, warming even the coldest darkness. Bards sang of her guidance, weaving songs that carried her light across valleys, rivers, and distant mountains. Artists painted her form not with weapons, but with books, stars, and olive branches, symbols of eternal peace. Sailors told tales of hearing her voice in storms, a calm whisper guiding them safely toward unseen shores. Farmers prayed not for conquest, but for wisdom, planting seeds beneath constellations as blessings from her hand. Her temple was no longer bound to stone, for her sanctuary stretched across stars and hearts alike. Every act of kindness, every pursuit of truth, every moment of harmony became a prayer to Athena. Her name became less of worship and more of memory, eternal, woven into the rhythm of daily life. Even when mortals forgot, the stars did not, for they still bore her story carved in endless night. The owl flew on, silent in dreams, guiding those who listened to the wisdom hidden in stillness. The dove soared above hearts in need, carrying the goddess's peace where conflict threatened to grow. The deer walked in forests of thought, teaching seekers that strength is quiet, not thunderous, but enduring. Athena's eternal gift was not bound by time, for she was not of endings, but of beginnings. She remained in silence, in song, in star, in every quest for wisdom and every act of love. Mortals would fade, kingdoms would crumble, but her constellations and memory would shine unbroken forever. And in the vast night sky, her voice still lingered, whispering, "Seek wisdom, and you will find me." The story of Athena, the eternal star goddess, drifts now toward its closing, yet her light never fades. Her journey was not of conquest, but of wisdom, not of crowns, but of the quiet strength within. She was a goddess who gave not weapons, but understanding, not fear, but a vision of greater harmony. Her legacy was woven into skies, into whispers, into the rhythm of humanity's steps across time. The owl still circles above in dreams, its eyes steady, guiding seekers toward the path of reflection. The dove still glides on unseen winds, its wings carrying the message of peace to troubled hearts. The deer still walks through shadowed forests, teaching that strength is also gentleness, patience, and grace. Athena's constellations remain as lanterns in the night, teaching mortals to look upward when shadows grow heavy. Her voice lingers not in thunder, but in silence, in stillness where the heart dares to listen. When mortals lift their eyes, they find not only stars, but reminders of wisdom greater than themselves. The constellations, Orion, Lyra, Virgo, each glow with lessons that outlast kingdoms and the fall of empires. Athena showed humanity that eternity is not found in power, but in the truth that endures. Her presence is not gone, for she is within every act of kindness and every thought of clarity. In classrooms where children learn, in songs sung by dreamers, in hands that heal and build, she dwells. Mortals may forget her name, but they cannot forget the light that guides them in their darkest nights. That light is her eternal gift, an inheritance passed not by command, but by love unyielding. Athena remains a goddess of beginnings, her presence always rising, like dawn returning after the longest night. For every star carries her memory, every story whispers her truth, every life touched reflects her flame. She teaches that wisdom is never finished, but a journey without end, a horizon always inviting. And so the tale of Athena is not a tale of the past, but of forever unfolding. Her temple is the night sky, her scripture the constellations, her hymn the silence of stars. Her followers are not bound by ritual, but by curiosity, by wonder, by the courage to seek. She asks only that mortals look upward, not for answers, but for questions that make the soul grow. The owl calls from shadow, the dove sings in light, the deer walks gently in balance, eternal. Together, they remind us of Athena's promise. Wisdom is a light that never diminishes. The eternal star goddess walks with humanity, unseen yet near, her steps echoing in starlight forever. And if you listen, in the quiet of the night, you may hear her whisper through the stars. Seek truth, embrace peace, cherish wisdom, and know that I walk with you, now and always.